y'all to pull up a chair because God is good. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? I don't know about y'all, but my God I serve, he's an on-time God. Yes, he is. Woo! Y'all thought Wendy Williams was going to be out for the count. It was a lie, y'all. Honey, I need y'all to pull up a chair because I got a video. Everybody and they mama need to see this video, okay? I tell y'all one thing, Wendy Williams is a living testimony. I said you better shout. You better shout. Let me tell y'all. Woo! Because the way my spirit been shaking since this Wendy Williams update, y'all. No, ma'am. Something ain't right. I said something ain't right. Because I told y'all. I told you and you and you. I told y'all when the world was laughing at Wendy. Woo! When the internet was clowning Wendy. When folks said, oh, she's kind of crazy. Yeah, she's crazy. I said, baby, something is off. This ain't no regular breakdown, y'all. This was a takedown, y'all. A takedown. They trying to take her down. And now that the truth is slipping out like a wig on a windy day. Woo! I don't know about y'all, but I wear a lot of wigs. And when I don't have my glue, this wig will blow off on a windy day. Honey, that's how this truth is hitting us. It's blowing off like a wig on a windy day, y'all. The doctor, honey, just came out and said, Wendy Williams, woo, does not have the frontal temporal dementia. I don't know about y'all, but they told me that dementia is an illness or a disease that do not improve, okay? Woo, won't God do it? Took it away. Woo, y'all not talking about it enough for me. Y'all not talking about it enough for me. Y'all not praising his name enough for me. But honey, let me tell y'all something. The same condition they used to lock her down, shut her up, take her coins, and put strangers over her life. Okay? And baby, I am fed up. And since, listen, I will be y'all mouthpiece. Because I got to say something about this, y'all. Now, let's get the likes up. And I got a video I want y'all to react to, okay? Because, baby, y'all are done playing. Look. Oh, my goodness. Sabrina needs to take her ass to jail. And I believe the judge, too. And the doctors while you're at it. The lady with the clipboard while you're at it. Everybody who touched that paperwork needs to go to jail while you're at it. And matter of fact, Wells Fargo better get their days, honey. Count your days, Wells Fargo. Woo! I'm not playing about this, y'all. Okay? Who falsified the medical documents? That's what I want to know. That is who I want to see in handcuffs, y'all. Woo! Because how do you misdiagnose a whole legend, an icon? How do you do that? A whole woman with millions, a whole woman with a family. Do you know how many years they took from this woman? Okay? Man, when I tell you that they try to control her estate, honey, that ain't no damn guardianship they calling. Woo! Honey, I am too mad. And yes, I'm saying it loud, and I want the William people to hear me, honey, okay? This was a plot to take her money and destroy her. Do you hear what I'm saying? Just like they did Michael Jackson. But y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. Somebody was drugging her. Okay, allegedly. Somebody was drugging her. Something was in that goddamn tea. Yeah, they was stirring that motherfucking tea. And I always felt it, y'all. Baby, Wendy fainted on that stage. So y'all remember that? Halloween. Oh, girl. She fainted on stage dressed as a Statue of Liberty. And I said, I always believed there was something in that goddamn cup. And honestly, I'm not going to argue with y'all, because how she go from a talk show titan to she doesn't even know her god darn name. I said god darn name. Whoo! Never mind, honey. She don't have dementia. Hello. Something or someone pushed Wendy over the edge. Whoo! Honey, and I got something else to say. They took a lot of her money, and she need all that back right now. She need all that back. We want it all back. Everything you stole from her, we want it back. Give her her money. I don't play about Wendy coins, honey, okay? Woo! People only cared because she had money. If she was broke, nobody would have found out and try to be in the field looking for her guardianship. Because let's keep it real, y'all. Can we keep it all the way real at the messy sweet spot? Okay? Ain't nobody running up behind broke aunties snatching the rights away. I said again, ain't nobody running up behind broke aunties snatching their rights away. But Wendy, honey, her money hit different. Her legacy hit different. Her independence hit different. And they wanted to control her, honey. And the one that got the internet heated, honey, let me tell you. You mean to tell me this? Wendy got a grown son, a sister who's a lawyer, nieces, cousins, family, friends, and y'all all picked a stranger named Sabrina? Ooh, girl, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Honey, why didn't her sister file? That's what I want to know. Why didn't her son get the right to help her? Why was strangers allowed to take over Wendy, but Bruce Willis' family was allowed to handle him? And baby, whoo, let me tell y'all, why do white celebrities, and I don't got nothing against nobody, y'all. I love everybody. I promise y'all, I love white, black, yellow, green, yellow. I don't give a damn. I love everybody. But why do the white celebrities get compassion? Huh? But our legends get guardianship. Explain that shit to me, y'all. Okay? Oh my God. She told the truth about Diddy. Now look what happened. Diddy and Jay-Z, I believe it. I can't prove it, but they behind this shit. They behind this. They got something to do with it. They hands in it. This is exactly what they did to Kanye. Yes. Ooh, Kanye West. Can't even say the nigga name. Kanye West. They silence anybody who knows too much, y'all. Come on now. Oh my God, y'all. This gives slave vibes. How can they own a person? Do you hear what I'm saying? I want to investigate all past guardianship cases. Open it up, because this happens every day to black people without money. Baby, this is a real message. Wendy is famous, but she's not the only one being trapped, drugged, misdiagnosed, and taken advantage of. Some of y'all said, honey, and I repeat, my family tried to steal from my grandma. My auntie was put in guardianship for no reason. Listen, people are evil when money is involved, and I don't care what nobody say. I believe her ex-husband got something to do with it too. Kevin, I'm calling your name, bruh. Okay, honey, this right here is bigger than Wendy. This is spiritual. This is systematic. This is warfare, y'all. Y'all don't want to hear me today because you don't want to fight. Okay? Now, honey, I miss her so much. I miss her so much. I miss her so much. We need her back, y'all. Wendy forever. The world needs Wendy Williams back. Give her her money back and give her her freedom back. She is the real queen of daytime. And it's not Oprah, it's Wendy. Okay? Nobody does messy like Wendy. Nobody does like shade like Wendy. Nobody tells a storytelling like Wendy. She is the auntie of all hot topics. The mother of media chaos. The queen of daytime TV. And she deserves the comeback she deserves. Okay? Woo! Honey, I hope everybody who lied on Wendy Williams get everything they deserve. And I hope she gets everything she deserves right back. That wasn't dementia. That wasn't confusion. That was a setup, a money grab, a legal trap, and a spiritual attack. But guess what? Wendy is waking up, baby. And this girl, the girls who plotted on they shaking. Yeah, they shaking now, baby. They shaking now, baby. They shaking. Because they thought they buried her. But she was a seed. She was a seed. And she's growing back, baby. I need everybody to leave a comment. Everybody leave a like. Everybody share this video. And tell me exactly who you think should go to jail first. The Guardian, the doctor, the judge, the Wells Fargo, or just all of them. Watch this video with me, y'all. Come on now.
According to a new report, Wendy Williams does not have frontotemporal dementia.
It looks like Wendy is finally getting out of her messy guardianship after new test results revealed that she was intentionally misdiagnosed with a bunch of mental illnesses she doesn't have. What's worse is that the same team that was appointed to her by the court is the one allegedly behind this misdiagnosis. Wendy has been screaming at us for months, telling everyone that she isn't crazy, but no one was listening to her. Nicki Minaj even stepped in to spill the tea about what they were doing to Wendy, but no one took her seriously. Apparently, Nicki did this because she is next in line to be misdiagnosed and thrown into a conservatorship. But as usual, folks are going to ignore her just like they did Wendy till it's too late. This entire mess went down a couple of days ago when TMZ reported that Wendy underwent a series of neurological tests by an unnamed top neurologist in New York, and he concluded that Wendy didn't have the condition that has kept her in a guardianship for years. Mind you, they've thrown this woman in multiple mental health facilities, canceled her TV show, kept her from her family, and shoved drugs down her throat over this illness, only for it to turn out she didn't even have the illness to begin with. This is some wicked work, and from what Wendy is saying, it wasn't a mistake. It was a deliberate attempt from Wells Fargo to hoard her money and do as they please with it. Wells Fargo was the one who started this mess when they pushed for her to have a court-appointed guardian because she was incapable of managing her own financial affairs and at risk of exploitation. She was diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia and aphasia, and from this point on, it was up. What's even more shady about the whole thing is that just because Wendy's legal guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, took over, there were reports that Wendy was getting better. So how did she go from that to suddenly having all these illnesses right when Sabrina stepped in? Even Wendy's son, Kevin Jr., called out the BS when he commented this under a post the Shade Room made about Wendy's diagnosis. He also said Wendy's doctor told them that Wendy's dementia was alcohol-induced, but for some reason, her team was still allowing her to have a lot of alcohol. They also cut all ties with her family, meaning her family didn't know where she was or what was being done to her.
I feel like the Guardian has not done a good job of protecting my mom.
Wendy has since tried so many times to get out of the guardianship, but they are not letting up. She even had a couple of independent evaluations done to determine that she didn't have the illnesses that she was being labeled with, but they still insisted that she did. Mind you, according to experts, people with frontotemporal dementia only get worse after their diagnosis. But Wendy has exhibited remarkable neurological resilience since she became clean and sober 3 years ago. TMZ claims that Wendy's legal team will file legal docs with the court in the next 2 weeks, paving the way for a hearing where they will ask the judge to terminate the guardianship. If the judge digs in and refuses to end the guardianship, powerhouse lawyer Joe Tacopina will then demand a jury trial and ask jurors to free Wendy. When Wendy initially got sucked into this guardianship, the #1 suspect on everyone's list was Diddy, because he and Wendy have a long history, and anyone who has been keeping up with them knows that Diddy has been wanting to destroy Wendy for the longest time. Wendy accused him of receiving an oral from a man. She said someone had emailed her photos of Diddy during his vacation in Mexico, and in those photos, another man was doing the you-know-what to him.
Wendy Williams, she got fired from Hot 97 because she had a picture of Puffy. So if you don't mind, give me the story from your point of view, and what was in the picture?
We were in Cancun. For whatever reason, dude was playing with Puff. He went behind him and grabbed his trunks and pulled them down. Some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams said she had him in a compromising position and like it was gay, something like that. She was gonna put it out. Wendy had shown people that email. Puff told Hot 97 if they didn't get rid of her before he got back in New York, that they was not gonna get any music from any of his friends, any of the record labels executives that was cool with him. Everybody was gonna boycott their station. We was out in LA for about 3 days before we landed back in New York. Wendy Williams was in the radio station in Philly. He was fired.
We come from a very homosexual era of hip hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle. There were many situations, none of which to talk about, but there were many situations back in the day in my career. And it's all coming full circle now, so.
And remember the time then 19-year-old Shine took the fall for Diddy for that club shooting incident? Wendy was the one who found the circumstances suspicious and called for it to be properly investigated. She even questioned the whole thing, claiming that Diddy and J-Lo were hiding something. She was also one of the only people to call out Diddy and Cassie's relationship way before Cassie even left him.
He ran out of the club so fast and got into the waiting SUV that it wasn't until he got into the truck that he realized that he left Jennifer behind, along with his bodyguard, Anthony Wolf. He just like ran, forget it. That's a true sign of an itch bag, by the way. Leaving his
I thought it was an uncle.
Well, eventually, Jennifer and Wolf made their way to the SUV without Puffy.
Right.
They ran 11 lights to elude the cops. Supposedly it was Puffy, although people are saying they saw a female hand tossing the window. And then when the cops stopped them, they found a second, of course, in the car.
Right.
All 4 of the occupants, the driver, the bodyguard, Puffy and Jennifer, were handcuffed and taken down to the precinct. And eventually, Puffy and his bodyguard, Wolf, were overheard talking about their plot to bribe the driver to take the rap for the... And Puffy was overheard saying, and I quote, because the prosecutor said this, "I can't go to jail, I'm Puff Daddy."
He was arrested with a deadly weapon. And
Puffy wants Cassie back. Oh, it's been all over social media. Puffy posted a picture of Michael Jackson's song, Lady in My Life, and wrote, "If anyone sees Cassie this weekend, please tell her to listen to this song 100 times. I suggest don't use social media, though, to reach out. I think this is a grand overture from Puffy. I don't believe he really wants her back. I believe he probably treated her at some particular point like a possession, like a possession. And if you really care, then you'd reach out privately, not publicly."
Y'all had bad blood for a while.
Real bad.
Real bad blood.
The worst blood.
The worst blood. You almost wanted to run you out of New York at one point, right? Well, not run, like push you out of New York at one point. He had you ran out. You give him full credit for that? Okay, cool. He had you ran out of New York.
Things got so bad that Diddy even threatened her then 16-year-old son. So what happened was, Wendy invited Diddy for an interview. During the interview, he randomly brought up her son in their conversation, which made Wendy visibly nervous because she knew there was a reason he brought her son up. A lot of people feel like he did this to warn her to stay out of his business, or he was going to hurt him.
As the mother of a now 16-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Who I met backstage, he
did?
He's great young.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You represent a lot.
Now, when it comes to Nicki Minaj, she might be a lot of things, but a liar isn't one of them. And it looks like people are finally realizing that. You see, because of Wendy and Diddy's relationship, people were convinced that Diddy was the only one responsible. But according to Nicki's recent claims, Jay-Z and Roc Nation also had a hand in Wendy's problems, and they are now trying to do the same thing to her. A few days ago, she got into it with Charlemagne over an interview he did with Gucci Mane and Keisha, and in response to the interview, she accused Roc Nation of using Charlemagne to get Wendy in that guardianship. Charlemagne the fraud is Jay-Z friend and business associate, using heart radio for these disgusting ploys against innocent families. He was around Wendy before her life went to hell. The buck stops here, baby. Bookmark this tweet. Tasha K also stepped into the chat, and she gave us more details about what Nicki was talking about. Tasha said Roc Nation has allegedly been plotting to get Nicki in a guardianship too, just like Wendy. But the only thing that is stopping them from being able to do that is her husband, Kenneth Petty. Since she's married to Ken, even if they succeed in getting doctors to diagnose her with mental health issues she doesn't have, all her money will automatically go to Ken since he's her husband. And if you take a look at all the celebrities who were thrown into a conservatorship, none of them were married. Britney wasn't married, and Wendy was divorced by the time Wells Fargo gave her a guardian. If they were married, it would have been much harder for her to be put in a guardianship.
This is not something that is like a conspiracy theory. This shit actually happens. But if they're able to separate Nicki and Kenny, that makes Nicki vulnerable because your husband is your power of attorney. Your husband is your signator on all of your accounts in the event anything goes wrong. Michael wasn't married. Britney Spears was married, but of course they control all of that. And so the mere fact that all these narratives are out about Kenny stealing this to buy chains and buy that, that's not what it is. It's like, you know, they got doctors that are giving out these diagnoses saying that she's schizophrenic and bipolar and all of this stuff. And then Kenny's now here. You know, she trusts Kenny. Of course, they've known each other since they were kids. Their families know each other. And so Kenny is just in the way. And so what do? You create narratives to try to separate, because if you separate, then you can divide and conquer. And so that's what it's about. You know, she's going into her latter years and, you know, there's a lot of money on the line and she's worth a lot, but Kenny is in the way. And so, yeah, I mean, look at what they're doing to Wendy Williams. Had Wendy would have still been with Kelvin, they wouldn't have been able to put her under a conservatorship because she has a husband. So, you know, and like I said, there was only one that was accused of stealing. We're gonna leave it at that. Okay?
Y'all gonna stop twisting my damn words. Nicki Minaj ain't got no schizophrenia. They tried to 5150 Kanye for being bipolar. It's a mood disorder. Then turned around and attempted to seize his assets just because he was talking his ish. Meanwhile, Wendy Williams is sitting in a luxury hospital suite while her lawyers spend her money. Michael Jackson's gone, and Britney Spears had to flee the US to Mexico just to feel free after years under that conservatorship. What part don't y'all understand? This is a systemic industry takedown, meant to make her look incapable of managing her own money. And let's be clear, Kenny, the husband, is in the way. All this started after she tweeted about that damn COVID vaccine. It's now being speculated that these reports about Wendy being misdiagnosed isn't a coincidence like the industry wants us to believe. Allegedly, they had to put her in that guardianship while Diddy's trial was actively happening, so she wouldn't testify in court about what she went through in his hands. But now that the trial is over, she isn't a threat anymore, so they can let her out. And honestly, this checks out because Wendy had multiple independent tests done to prove she wasn't sick, and none of them were taken seriously. But right when Diddy's trial ended, a test was done, and now they actually decided to take her seriously? And let's not forget how they are now labeling Nicki Minaj crazy, just when rumors started going around about Jay-Z being next in line after Diddy. These people are playing in our face, and it's beginning to get harder and harder to ignore. As usual, people had their own opinions. This person who said, Wendy's family should sue the doctor that misdiagnosed her with dementia. That misdiagnosis is the cause that led to a myriad of bad events that impacted Wendy's life. Another person said, they sold Wendy's condo, gave away her beloved pet, got rid of thousands of dollars of furniture, clothing, and personal effects. Wendy self-admitted stints in rehab for substance use. Bottom line, free Wendy. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Wendy finally getting out of her guardianship? And do you think Nicki Minaj is really the next to be put in a guardianship? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.